Hey internet, welcome to. Oh yeah, we gotta adjust the position and placement of our phone, or I guess my phone in my hand, so that we try not to drop it in the street again like last week. In any case, welcome to Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, something like that. Probably not yet Thursday night, since it's like 7 o'clock p.m. It's still pretty light here in Paris. Hope your day has gone well thus far. Just got out of class and I've been sort of kicking around the idea of sort of the different persons, the different personalities, the different sort of profiles that you might find in a program like mine. And the behaviors that some of these people have between one another, and I guess the sort of the idea that I was drilling down on today is the following. So a bit of context is the way our program is structured is we have like a lesson in the morning. The lesson is usually 1.5 to 2 hours, and then we solve problem sets for anywhere from 6 to 7 hours with an hour for lunch, somewhere in there. And then we have what's called a live coding session where there's like a toy problem or a structured problem that we have to solve as a group with potentially the help of the instructor, potentially not. And the sort of why it's called live code is because we're coding the problem and the solution. I guess we're coding mostly the solution, probably not the problem, in a way that we're doing it on sort of on the classroom setting in live time. I don't know what the best way to say that. Sorry, my brain's sort of still thinking in French. In any case, we like code a solution live as a group, and the idea of the sort of exercise is that one person is the person sort of writing the solution, and so one of us is chosen either at random or as a volunteer to go up in front of the entire class of 40 plus students, as well as the instructor, and start coding out a solution. The sort of the context or the initial frame is that like the person who's in front of the class, one of us, is actually just a scribe rather than sort of the main problem solver. And we had to fit through that little gap. It was a little tough. But in any case, like the idea is that one person is a scribe and really doesn't have to do much of the thinking, and it's the class's job to solve the problem. However, sometimes the class is not very helpful, and depending on the instructor and the problem, some people really want the person in front of the class to solve the problem. This is all just to say that I find it really interesting, sort of the human behavior that shows itself. Ooh, sorry, again, I'm at a very busy corner, it's kind of loud. But the human behavior that sort of shows itself in this live code exercise is really interesting, in that we're now in like the 6th week of our program, and there are some profiles, some people who are really strong in the bootcamp and is sort of thought of as the stronger students or the better students. They generally like finish the problem sets earlier than everyone. They're kind of the people that others go to as a reference point. That's all kind of normal. I imagine this happens in a work setting as well as an academic setting as well as a boot camp setting. And it's like kind of just more generally in real life, I guess. But what I find really interesting, and the distinction that I would make is that there is a behavior that sort of differentiates those that might be really, really talented or just sort of talented or strong coders, strong students. Ooh, noisy motorcycle. And those that are comfortable going up in front of the class, in front of 40 other people. And that if you were to create a Venn diagram, sort of like a series of overlapping circles, the people who are really strong might actually be the people who are willing to go up in front of the class. And so we sort of like have a system where we can track how many times each person has gone up and whether they went up voluntarily or not. And it's just like super interesting to see the names and or photos of the people who are really, really strong coders in our cohort and haven't gone up there. And obviously there could be a variety of reasons why someone wouldn't get up. Like maybe it's like a really dull exercise, maybe they just like don't care, maybe they want to leave because it's the end of the day, or maybe they, as I would sort of develop the thesis, is like they don't want to be in front of everyone and potentially make a mistake, or potentially be thought of as really good coders. I don't know, but it's just interesting that some of the people who are not immediately the strongest are the most willing to go in front of the class, and some of those who are the strongest aren't willing to go to the class. And so this is just to say, what do you think about this sort of phenomenon? Have you noticed that people who are really good at something, occasionally there's the type of person who's really good at something and wants to show off and make sure everyone knows that they're right and that they're hot stuff, and other people, maybe they're modest and don't want to go up, or maybe they're really shy and they don't want to go up in front of a group of people. So if you think about it, which category might you be in, if you want to say? Obviously you don't have to. And sort of what are the instances where you've had to go in front of other people, where you're comfortable, not comfortable, like, anyway. It's just interesting to think about. And I'm sometimes terrified to go in front of everyone just because, like, French is not my native language. I still, like, occasionally make grammatical mistakes. Actually, every day I make grammatical mistakes, both in English and French, probably. But it's like, in French, they have, like, we use a QWERTY keyboard in the US, and they use, like, a different ordered keyboard. It can be very stressful. I'm like, I went up today, and like sometimes I don't understand the instructions in French. Like I have to look at the instructor, and like, I don't know, it's a giant adventure. So anyway, just want to know what you think, whether you think this topic is interesting or not. And yeah, that's about it. All right, hope you have a great rest of the day, the night, the evening, whatever time category we decide it was, and I'll catch you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.